Why does this tank look so big? It's only 30 litres and it looks massive. Anyway, hello and welcome to Simon Does Fish, and today we're making a breeder tank for shrimp. That is right, I want to make a breeder tank for shrimp because across all the tanks in my fish room, barring that one right there, we have shrimp taking over. And we have various colours, we have different versions of them, all sorts. And I want to sell them purely to help pay for this hobby, because having all these tanks, and I mean there's only 4, but we have one secret one here that I will get to. Anyway, I've been digressing a little bit too much, and at the moment we're just going to use reds and blues, but we'll start with the red shrimp as they're the most popular, so I think that will give us the best running chance of promoting ourselves and supporting ourselves in the long run. This is the tank we've got. It's a 30 litre Interpet cube tank. It's really good. We have 2 actually, because we have this one down here. But basically, I wanted to do 2 breeder shrimp tanks, and that failed because I picked up these little yellow lab fry when I let the light go on. You can kind of see them. I've got some more today, and they're part of another project we will be doing. But without further ado, let's get to building the tank. So the substrate I'll be using for this little tiny tank is actually going to be kids play sand. This is 10 kilo. The reason I'm using this is because I found it at my local Tesco's, which is a supermarket in the UK. And I'm making a really loud noise with that bag. But yeah, it's a supermarket in the UK. They'll sell them for £5 and now they're down to £2.50. So I thought for 10 kilos sand, it's worth a shot and it's a cheap alternative. I know that darker substrates tend to be better for the shrimp and make them a bit more colourful, but we'll do it on a budget to make the most profit because we don't want to be wasting a load of money when we want to be making money. And for the hardscape, we'll actually be using a few pieces of wood. Got some dragon stone here, and we've got some more bits of wood. And basically, the concept of this tank is to make it easy to maintain and easy to catch the shrimp. Because at the end of the day, it's okay as making a really nice aquascape for them, but if we can't get them out of their tank, we ain't going to sell any shrimp, are we? So it's all about modular building and making sure that we can easily take bits out of the tank so we can get to the shrimp, put it back in, and it doesn't really matter where it goes, as long as it goes somewhere in the tank and it looks nice, that's absolutely fine. I've got some Java moss as well, so that's going to be really nice to just make it look a bit more natural. It'll allow more biofilms and algae to grow on inside the tank, so the shrimp will have something to feed on, because the little shrimplets are really hard to feed food to. But yeah, we'll get to it. So this is a bucket of sand that I have actually already pre-rinsed a few times, because with play sand it is dreadful to clean, which is probably why it's so cheap really. And I mean it's not designed to really be for an aquarium as such, they haven't had that in mind, but it's inert substrate, so it's absolutely fine to use. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put you on a tripod, and we're going to just put a little bit in, rank it up at the back, usual stuff. But we don't need to worry about anything that has nutrient-rich substrates or all like that, because it's not going to have plants in it. So let's get the substrate in. It's going to be really fun to do this, and I'm going to make loads of noise. So this is about to get really messy, but I'm going to try. That was a nice noise. It stuck to my jug. But yeah, I'm really excited to do this really, because I don't like selling animals. I've always liked just keeping them. It's kind of like Pokemon. I just want to have them all, but I don't want to give them away. But I realise now that it's very hard to, it's hard to keep them all. And I've always felt like the pets to me, they're not like things to sell, but it's come to the conclusion that I'll have to do it. And as long as they go to good homes, I guess that's all I really care about, and that's why I tend to not want to get rid of them because I just want to make sure they get looked after and they don't go to bad homes. But sometimes, I mean, when I first started out, I'm going to ramble now, so if you don't like it, you could probably skip this section. But when I first started out keeping fish, I had this really bad tank. I'll try and get a little video up now, actually, of what my original tanks used to look like. And to be fair, I just thought a fish was a fish. And that kind of stuff. That's my little 2 pence on that. But yeah, I'm going to try and get a video up of my original tanks because they're bad. Like, they are bad. And I mean, like, I guess to some people the tanks I do now are probably just as bad. But the difference is I'm using live plants now. So it's natural for them. Whereas before I was using artificial plants, I had all the really bad decor that everyone said leaches paint into your water and harms your fish. So yeah, I guess I've improved in that forefront of such. I want to try now make these videos more. I'm going to get in front of the camera. I want to make these videos a bit more, as if we're together in the room, and it's not that I'm talking to the camera. I want it to feel like we're talking together. So if you've got, tell me about your fish tanks and stuff. Leave it in the comment section below of how you got into fish keeping, and what was one of your biggest mistakes you ever made as a fish keeper. I know I've made a few, probably too many to be fair. But yeah, leave it in the comment section. I'd like to know what you guys have done and what did you do to improve it. That's another good one. Is it's okay saying, oh well, I made this mistake, but how did you, after make that mistake, how did it make you improve in the hobby? I think that this could be quite good now, actually. I don't know what it looks like. I've not actually looked at it yet, but I'm gonna have a look now. What do we think to that? Needs a bit more down here, I think. Because it's already wet, it's very hard to not have it all clumpy, which is a little bit annoying. And this sand is super fine. Anyway, I think that's probably the best we're gonna get because it's just gonna gloop everywhere. Yeah, that's good. There's a little bit of water in there now. It's not as sloped as I wanted it to be, but I don't want to add too much substrate. So for hardscape, I've got these 2 bits of wood, and I'm going to link them together like this, and it's hard to see, but it's going to make a little cave right here, and that'll be kind of a nice little bit of coverage for the shrimp to hide in. You can kind of see that, yeah. And we're going to use my trusted cyanoacrylate Gorilla Glue. I can't get to work, and then we've also got this little bit of dragonstone that I really like, so I'm just going to put a little bit of moss on top of there. I'm not going to use this one because it has all dead duckweed on it, and that could be risky. And this one is it's a bit flat, so we're going to basically glue it together. I'll show you how to do that. Gizmo is at the door. Should we let him in? Come on then, Gizmo. Come on. Are you ready, guys? We have special appearance. He's being funny now. Anyway, let's get to the gluing. So, as I said, I'm going to use my trusted cyanoacrylate super glue. It turns out I think I must have been lying because it's this. But anyway, it's moss either way. So, I was in the middle of recording and I get a little knock at the door and I'm like, who could this be? And I've been speaking with a company called Higer lately, and they kindly sent me out this cool plant light. So I'm going to be doing a full review and thoughts of this light, but I hope you guys will enjoy the video coming soon. So it has been a few days, I nearly fell over, And the rock that we did and the wood that we did, that has now cured and is ready to go into the tank. So what I shall do is I shall turn the camera around, we'll put the wooden rock in this tank, we'll fill it up, and we'll try get some shrimp put into the tank. Fingers crossed. So I'm now gonna get the bits of rock that we have, one of the bits here, and I'm gonna put it in. This has been in another tank while I was waiting to get back to recording. I think we'll put that piece there. And then the little, oh, they dropped it, the little wood cavey thing we're doing. Just hide that bit of glue. And I think we'll put that like that. And you know what, guys? I actually quite like this. It's quite empty, but once the shrimp are in there, they're going to fill it up like loads. But yeah, the little cave thing has turned out really nice. And the sort of moss kind of that we used, I can't remember if it was bog moss or something like that, that has come out really well. So I'm gonna get my pipe ready, we'll start filling this tank up nice and slowly, we'll add a filter to it, and then we'll add the shrimp. And it has started. I'm just making sure it's not gonna stir up too badly. It seems to be okay at the moment. Now that did not fill up bad at all. There's a little bit of dust, but to say the least, it's not that bad. But yeah, there's a little bit on the wood and a bit on there. But the shrimp will clean that eventually. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the filter put on and then we'll get some shrimpies in. So we've got the filter running now, guys, and it's a bit cloudy because the filter has been running, so there's quite a bit of dirt in there still. And we've got a snail. How? Always my life anyway. That guy'd be okay. He'll help keep the tank clean with the shrimp. And yeah, we've got the tank running nicely. Got my trusty Fluval air pump and maybe a little bit powerful for this tank, but plenty of oxygen dissipation and that through the bubbling. And yeah, I'm going to try catch some shrimp out, and fingers crossed I will get quite a few cherries. So I've caught the shrimps out, you can't really see them, but we got a mixture. We've got some like chocolate browns, which are like the wild type, we've got some blacks, we've got some slight blue ones, and we've got some like low grade reds, and I think there's an orange in there as well. But and there's a few mollies as well. We caught a few mollies out there, which we'll remove them once we can. The water's been acclimated now, so we can add them in. And yeah, the ones that we don't like eventually as they breed, because I think majority of the reds are males, so when they breed with the blacks and the blues and all that, we can take out the colours that we don't particularly want, and then we can sort of refine the coloration. So I'm not too worried about us just getting all wild types in the end, because the genetics can work in wonderful weird ways. We could even get a new coloration through just genetical changes in the structure of the shrimp. But yeah, I'm going to put them in now, guys. I've also noticed that there is no heater in this tank, but don't worry, as I say, I acclimated them properly and all that, and I'm not too worried about the shrimp because they can go into colder waters, so the room's usually around like 20-25 degrees. It depends on the day. Like usually now in summer it'll be like 25-26. In winter it'll be probably more 20, but that's still perfectly fine for shrimp. But as you can see, we've got some nice little black ones there. Got an orange in the background. There's a nice black one on the filter. Black is also like a wild type colour really. They're not very rare at all. I thought they were at first, but it turns out that's more of a wild type colour. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I will keep you up to date on how our shrimp breeding colony does. Thanks for watching.